I'm Paul Hollywood, and yes, I like my food.
And that's lucky, because food is why Paul has come to Japan for the first time in his life. He wants to expose himself to all this country has to offer. Although, thankfully, that's not his bottom. Paul's time here is about flexing his culinary muscles. That's an oyster, not a mussel. Paul is in Japan to eat.
I've never been to Japan before. I mean, why would I? I'm a baker. It's all about rice and noodles, isn't it?
Ta-da!
Anyway, I'm told it's now the #1 destination for food lovers. And that's why I'm here. I'm on a bit of a mission to learn why this country is so obsessed with food. Oh, mental! To see if the food here is as good as everyone tells me.
We like the junk food!
And learn why eating plays such a crucial role in all aspects of Japanese life. 350 English pound for that strawberry. Just think about that for a minute.
And Paul being Paul, he's bound to find a way to get bread involved somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Japan, Paul Hollywood!
Now Paul wants his final week in Japan to be all about seeking out the most weird, wonderful, and astounding food stories this country has to offer. And his first stop promises to be right up there as one of the most astounding places he's visited. Paul's heading deep into the Japanese countryside for an extraordinarily fruity experience. He's going strawberry picking.
It's pick your own in the UK, isn't it? Spend a day in the field doing the farmer's work for him, getting sunburns and eating as many as you can. One in the basket, one in your gob, and then you feel a little bit sick on your way home.
In Gifu Prefecture, about 30 minutes drive northwest of the city of Nagoya, is the Okuda Strawberry Farm. At first sight, it doesn't look that special, and Paul, well, he doesn't look very impressed, does he?
They were telling me this guy's got some amazing strawberries, you know. I've seen better in the UK, if I'm honest. £1.50 a punnet. I think they're about £2 in the UK at the moment. I mean, they look okay. Oh, he's got a few down there, some at £8.50. Hang on. Let me just double check. £17. Can't be right. You know, everyone's experienced strawberries before. We're British, for goodness sake. Apparently, we make the best strawberries in the world. And sometimes you might even pay £5 a punnet, and you go, oh, that's quite expensive. It's a bit of an extravagance.
But as a slightly confused yet intrigued Mr. Hollywood heads inside the farm shop, even £17 for a punnet starts to look like a bargain.
So £140 for that box of strawberries. Has he made a mistake on it? Has he made a mistake? Hang on. I don't want to buy the place. I just want to buy a strawberry. £16 a strawberry. I'm going to find out about this.
This is owner and founder Mr. Nichio Okuda,
Konnichiwa.
who's been growing strawberries for 45 years.
I see your strawberries go up in value all the way up to 20,000 yen for this box. The prices are very, very expensive. What makes your strawberries the most expensive I've ever heard of?
日本でも実際最高級の甘みと香りと後味。これはもう皆さんが納得される金額で買われております。ちょっと食べてください。皮と比較、加えて皮と比較した。食べて。そうそうそうそう。いい。
He supplies these mega money places with these beautiful strawberries, and I thought, what's it going to taste like? Oh, it's incredible. It's almost rose-like in its flavour. It's juicy.
Juicy.
It's definitely the most impressive strawberry I've ever eaten in my life. When eventually showed us where he grew the strawberry in these polytunnels, which was really hot, by the way. I mean, humidity levels like 90%. bit warm in here.
In Japan, almost all strawberries are grown like this, under plastic through the winter months. The long, slow ripening is said to make them sweeter.
Wow, look at the size of these fellas. They're huge.
大きい見そうそうでかいでそれをこうやって持ってちぎるそうそうそう
I was always thought the bigger the strawberry, more the water, less flavour.
まだ売る
But I was so wrong.
最高
Oh,
丸これ
yeah. Oh my word, that's fantastic.
美味しい甘みジューシー、ジューシ
What is it that makes your strawberries the best in the world?
ーでこの藁も稲わらが引いて温度を夜は高めに作ってるで暖房も夜は最低気温がある時には温度を上げてハウスの温度で寒暖差を大きくしてイチゴを大きくして甘みを作る
Now, Paul may think he's already had the best strawberries he'll ever taste, but incredibly, Okuda-san has kept the best till last.
Where's it gone? Ah, more strawberries.
This is a new variety which Okuda-san has spent the last few years perfecting.
Remember the colour, looking at it going, wow, they look really red. Tell me about this. What's this then?
これはイチゴです
Yeah.
This strawberry is now thought to be the very best you can buy in the whole world.
香りも
Smell. Wow. That's intense.
重たい
It's heavy. How much is this strawberry then?
これ一粒5万
50,000 yen.
一粒5万
I don't want all of these, just one.
わ
I didn't know what to say. 350 English pound for that strawberry. Just think about that for a minute. I mean, it's such a leap from 20 to 350 pound. Do you drive a Ferrari? You do, don't you? You have a set of Ferraris around the back there. I have never drank or eaten any food that's more expensive than that. Would you mind holding that for me a second? Thank you. This is all my money. 2, 3. I understand this guy. His passion for strawberries is incredible. He invented this. He grew this thing for strawberry. 50,000 yen, my friend. Thanks, Del. I'll give it a go. It's like, makes you happy. He's happy, he's got 50,000 yen, but it actually makes you really happy. It's like an apple meets a strawberry, meets a grape, meets a whole bunch of red roses that you're smelling. It's just beautiful. He creates the best strawberries in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Wow.
Wow.
Okuda-san's biggest ever single sale was for this variety.
There's about 5 of them.
A man bought 1 strawberry for each of his 17 party guests, and the price, £6,033.
Even the stalk tasted good. You're a master.
It's going to be hard to top a £350 strawberry, but Paul's certainly up for the challenge. That's Paul Hollywood off the Bake Off, and he's on a food tour of Japan. See, there's some sushi.
It's really good.
Oh, wow.
In his final week here, he's searching out some of the weirder and more extraordinary stories
I've never seen anything like it.
this food-obsessed country has to offer.
Do you drive a Ferrari? You do, don't you?
And if we're talking about Japanese obsessions, then we have to talk about the cherry blossom season. The Japanese love of cherry blossom, or sakura as it's known here, puts British celebrations of spring firmly in the shade.
Celebrating spring in the UK. Well, there's a bluebell wood near us. Loads of people stop and take selfies and park everywhere. We get May Day bank holidays. Yeah! Do people still dance around maypoles? And Morris dancers? Are they part of the spring celebrations? I'm not a fan of Morris dancers.
It's fair to say that the Japanese go utterly bonkers for cherry blossom. Throughout spring, the weather forecast ends with a daily sakura update predicting where the blossom will be best. And right now, that's in the town of Kawazu on the Izu Peninsula, where the pink trees and the crowds who've come to see them stretch for a couple of miles along the riverbank. Paul's come too, with Yuriko Kotani, a UK-based Japanese comedian who's flown home specifically to show him the cherry blossom.
Well, it's just gorgeous. Look at the colors. It's beautiful. Pink just make you content, isn't it?
I think happy. Yeah, it does. I must admit,
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a grump, to be honest. But when you look down there and see this,
Yeah, look, it's just the tunnel. It's the beginning of the year kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And also, these beautiful flowers doesn't last long.
yeah.
So we appreciate the moment as much as we can. It's like a sunshine in Britain, you know? Like,
Well, yeah, that's
Almost half of Japan's 126 million population take part in blossom-themed Hanami picnics every year. And for those that don't bring a picnic, there's row after row of food stalls.
They have a saying in Japan, which Yuriko taught me, Hana Yori Dango. That means food over flowers. So yeah, come and enjoy the pretty pink trees, but get stuck into your food.
There's a street food feast on offer here. But sugar is really the thing. In times past, sugar was a luxury only enjoyed at festivals, so this was and still is a chance to overdose on the sweet stuff. And of course, a lot of it comes in just one choice of colour, pink, like taiyaki, fish-shaped pancakes stuffed with pink custard cream.
Do you know what, the custard inside is delicious. It's the bubble gum on the outside I don't get.
And sakura-flavoured mochi, that's sweet pounded rice.
Last time I had a texture like that, I was wallpapering a wall.
wallpaper.
Is there a bin around here anyway? It's not just at the festivals where everything turns pink. You walk into a Japanese supermarket in spring and there's a sakura-flavoured version of pretty much everything you can eat. Look what I bought, a cherry blossom Kit Kat, that classic British chocolate bar, and it's a Japanese obsession. Throughout Japan, the Japanese love their chocolate fingers as much as they love the cherry blossom. So far, Nestle have launched over 400 different flavours of Kit Kat in Japan, and every day the Japanese eat 5 million of these little chocolate bars. That's almost 2 billion every year.
Appropriately, on a very small picnic rug under the sakura trees, Yuriko has gathered together an impressive selection of Japan's favourite chocolate bar for Paul to try.
I don't understand what a Japanese Kit Kat is. This is a Kit Kat. Yeah,
That's,
milk chocolate, wafer, that's the proper one.
there are so many flavors. That's chestnut.
Chestnut.
Yeah,
So what's that one?
can you guess?
Nettle.
It's wasabi.
Wasabi
Your
Kit Kat.
favorite, yes.
That's horrible. I mean, these sold all over the country, are they?
Yes, and we do regional ones as well. For example, this is from Tokai area, my region. It is azuki red bean toast sandwich.
Kit Kat's huge popularity here is largely due to the fact that the Japanese view this chocolate bar as being lucky.
In Japanese, we got the phrase
Right.
kitokatsu.
Kito, kato.
Means like a win for sure.
So it's a
Hopefully
lucky
you win.
thing?
Yeah, like a good luck charm.
What's that one?
Oh, that's matcha.
Matcha
yeah.
green tea. That is revolting. I mean, how dare they do that to a Kit Kat?
So I'm just wondering, like, why don't Britain do similar thing? For example, donut flavor.
I suppose you could do a roast beef.
Yeah,
Yorkshire
roast beef,
pudding,
yeah.
fish and chip Kit
Yeah.
Kat.
Cornish pasty
If you
flavor.
come up with a Cornish pasty Kit Kat,
Yeah.
me and you are going to fall out. Because I promise you, Cornish pasties stay in a rough puff pastry. They do not. And I repeat, do not ever go in a Kit Kat.
Paul has, of course, enjoyed a good few chocolate fingers as he's travelled around Japan. And as we've seen, he's also discovered that the Japanese are dab hands at another of his favourites, baking.
I'd have a sandwich with that any day.
But man cannot live by bread and chocolate alone, although that is an attractive thought. While exploring this extraordinary country, Mr. Hollywood's also put away a fair number of bentos, the traditional Japanese lunchbox.
Oh, that's good, Simon.
The Japanese eat their way through billions of shop-bought bentos every year. However, most parents still prepare bento boxes at home every day for their kids to take to school. And the care they take doing it puts us Brit parents to shame.
My mum never exactly lavished love on my packed lunch for school. Cheese sandwich on sliced white, carton of orange juice, ready salted crisps, chocolate bar. And then she lobbed in an apple, which spent most of the morning bouncing round in the Tupperware box and was covered in bruises by lunchtime. Tomomi?
Hi.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How'd you start, with the rice?
Yeah.
This is Tomomi Maruo. She laughs a lot. But she's also a bit of a bento artist and has become a YouTube sensation in Japan, teaching parents how to make the most extraordinary bento boxes for their children.
I tell you what, the sticky rice is really proper sticky.
And today she's teaching Paul.
I mean, proper
So you
sticky
shouldn't
rice. Well, aren't you? You have to, don't you? Tomomi makes Kiara Ben, which are character bentos, food style to look like celebrities and cartoon characters. So I thought I'd make a Kiara Ben based on the Bake Off team. Me, Prue, Sandy and Noel. Let's face it, it's going to make the character bento box look amazing.
Put soy sauce to put color on the rice.
I'm tending to be brown
Me too.
because I have a
Mine is
perma-tan. Noel's very white because he's a vampire.
Tomomi started out just making Kiara Ben for her kids.
They requested me what to make.
What
so
did they want?
First, cartoon characters.
But when other mums started asking for lessons,
Use this fish cake.
Right.
she started making videos for the internet.
You look angry.
I do look like an angry sumo.
Yeah, right. Small restaurant.
I didn't wait to agree with that.
And now Tomomi has a large and loyal online following.
Vampire.
No,
Because he's dead.
he died 5 years ago.
Sorry for him.
Kiara Ben has become massively popular, and parents now compete to make sure their kid has the best and most stylish packed lunch.
Doesn't need to be competitive, right?
Yeah, but you'll always get competitive mums and competitive dads. I've been in a school sports day.
Forget fancy trainers. If you want status in a Japanese playground, you need to be revealing a brilliant Kiara Ben every time you open your lunchbox.
Sandy. He's got a little scarf on.
Kawaii, cute.
I'm trying to work on Prue now.
need
Can I take some of that ham, please?
It's all got so competitive that some schools have now banned Kiara Ben to try and restore peace in the playground and at the school gate.
So you've started a big problem now in schools. The faces are basically rice balls with a bit of dressing, but to finish off the bento boxes, Tomomi had me making a whole load of other decorations out of a whole variety of other food.
Like a heart shape.
How clever is that? You know, in the UK we say you should have your 5 a day.
Rose. Kawaii, kawaii.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Japan they say they should have 30 different types of food every day as part of a balanced diet. I'm really happy with that. Noel's even got a broken nose.
No.
Arigato.
どういたしまして。
That is fantastic. Although 2.5 hours to make a lunchbox. Back to Kit Kat and an apple for me.
I brought a gift for you.
You brought a gift for me?
Yeah. Ta-da!
That's fantastic. Arigato.
どういたしまして。I hope you like it.
That is fantastic. I think I'll sit there quite well. You've even given me dark hair. Bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Paul Hollywood is eating his way around Japan, learning why this country is so obsessed with food
It's just beautiful.
And in his last week here,
Ta-da!
Fantastic.
discovering the weirder ways in which food permeates every aspect of Japanese life and culture.
That's horrible.
And nowhere is that more evident than on Japanese television, where their obsession with food is on a whole different level of weird to the channels back home.
Food on TV in Britain. Well, we've got lots of television chefs, haven't we? And we've got a fair few competitive food shows. The best of those is one called the Great British Bake Off. You might have heard of it.
Food dominates Japanese TV and features in a massive number of programs. There are hundreds of food-based game shows, thousands of food-based anime, endless cookery shows and food documentaries. And amongst the most popular shows on Japanese TV are the huge number of what are called gourmet dramas, which follow the main character as they go for dinner and, well, that's it. The Japanese love food-eating contests too, many of which get broadcast live on national TV and attract millions of viewers. One of the most popular is the All-Japan Wanko Soba contest, held in the small town of Hanamaki in Iwate Prefecture. Here, food fighters compete to eat the most bowls of noodles against the clock.
Now, the big competition is only for professional food fighters, and they train for months to take part. But I've been told that anyone who comes to Hanamaki can take on the eating challenge and, well, I love noodles.
Konnichiwa, Harapeku Twins, Anne no Kako to imoto.
As Paul never likes eating alone, today he'll be going head-to-head with a pair of famous big eaters as they shoot a video for their YouTube channel.
Paul-san desu.
The Harapeko twins, Kako and Ako, are part of a YouTube phenomenon which has swept across Japan in the last few years.
They video themselves eating ridiculously huge plates of food and then post it online. And millions, and I mean millions, of people watch them. But I found it fascinating with those twins because literally I could put my arms around them and slap my own face, probably both of them at the same time. What's the most amount of food you've ever eaten in one sitting?
私はパスタを8キロ食べました。
8 kilos of pasta!
私は大会があったのでその大食いのあんかけチャーハンを 9.4 キロ。
Wow! Obviously, I'm a big lad. So what I want to know is how do you stay so slim?
運動と便通がものすごくいいので、1日もう10回以上はトイレに行くぐらいなので、押し出し式みたいな食べたものがもうこうプンプン。
And then, once everything is in place, it's time to eat.
Right, let's bring it on.
The challenge lasts 20 minutes, and every time they finish a bowl, it gets refilled by the ladies in kimonos.
Give me a minute, yeah?
The empty bowls are piled up to show how much you've eaten. And before you ask, wanko means bowl in the local dialect.
Oh, mental! I'm struggling, to be honest.
How far in are we? 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes.
15 more minutes?
Having managed only 14 bowls, Paul's Wanko Soba Challenge comes to an early and abrupt end.
Calm.
Come on, Paul.
I can't, mate. I can't have any more. That's mental. Like machines.
But while Paul is beaten, the twins are only just hitting their stride.
That's just, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, look at the size. That's what baffles you. The miniature. It's extraordinary.
This eating challenge apparently dates from the 17th century when a high-ranking local landowner visited Hanamaki. It was a poor town, and the people were embarrassed that all they had to offer him was simple soba noodles.
Can you hear the belting, Ben? wouldn't you?
To try and make the meal appear more sophisticated for their posh guest, they serve the noodles in a small, delicate bowl. The landowner loved the noodles and asked for another bowl, and then another, and then another. And thus the Wanko Soba Noodle Eating Challenge was born. Apparently.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Bravo. How are you feeling? I've never seen anything like that. That is crazy.
なんか楽しかった。結構思ったより楽しくて。で
These days, people travel from right across Japan to take the challenge, and most of them manage a lot more than Paul.
You see, I did this. That's mine. Yeah. I'm very proud. But when you look at that, it is staggering. Absolutely staggering. You must be quite an expensive date.
As the bowls are counted, the twins are keen to show Paul how hard they've worked.
もうこの汗がわかりますかね。
Oh, you sweat? Yeah.
こうして代謝が良くて
It's working.
痩せてます。
And so to the result.
In third place is me. Thank you. I had 14. Kako, you had 301. Wow, 301. Ako, 310. Over 300 bowls each, and I managed to eat 14. Wow. And afterwards, they actually sat and ate lunch with us too. You're going to be paying for this in about an hour or two. Yeah, blop, 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 blop.
And I think it's best to leave it there. Despite their weird love of watching people eat ridiculously huge amounts of food, the Japanese are of course famous for having a very healthy diet and the lowest obesity rates of any nation on earth. However, if you head to the east side of Tokyo, to Ryogoku district, you'd be excused for doubting that fact. This is the home of Japan's national sport, sumo. And while sumo wrestlers are still amongst the most admired sports stars in Japan, their diet is a million miles from that of pretty much any other elite athlete.
I'm not exactly the best person to consult on the diet of an elite athlete, but it's probably good complex carbs, lean protein after training, probably chicken or fish, no alcohol, no burgers, oh, and those horrible energy drinks.
Paul's been given special permission to visit a sumo stable to watch a training session and eat a sumo brunch. And he's excited because he's going to the famous Musashigawa stable, where the trainer is a bit of a hero of his.
I used to be a big fan of sumo when it was on Channel 4, and my favourite fighter was the massive Hawaiian called Kanishiki. He was incredible, just enormous, and I've been looking forward to meeting him since we arrived in Japan. We stepped off a pretty minor street, and then as soon as we slid the doors open and walked in the dojo, you went back 300 years. Everybody was listening to the masters, and there was respect. You were in a very special place. And then I got to meet Kanishiki. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of you. It's lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. I remember watching you came out, and it was your size. Because even the Japanese guys were nowhere near your size.
I was the biggest.
You were.
The heaviest in sumo history.
At his biggest, Konishiki weighed an incredible 46 stone. And look, he even makes Paul look tiny. There are 19 sumo wrestlers in this stable, and the small building is a lot more than just a gym for them. They live here, cooking, eating, sleeping and training under the watchful eye of stable boss and former sumo champion, Musashi Maru.
I got to the stable at 7 a.m. and by that time, the guys had already been training for an hour and they were still on warm-up.
They train for a minimum of 4 hours every day. But if the stable boss doesn't think they're working hard enough, it can go on a lot longer.
He has to see you practice good to make the day finish early. Like we can sit here and like go 12, 1 o'clock. If you're not practicing the way he sees you should,
It's just full on, full on.
full on, and then like if you're not doing good, the boss going to keep on going.
Training hard, though, is only half the story of becoming a great sumo. The other half is all about eating.
What about your diet?
It's 2 meals a day. We only eat 2 meals a day.
Just 2 meals a day?
2 meals a day.
And your calorie intake, what sort of levels are you looking
I think average for 1 meal probably, this boys over here probably anything between 4 to 6 maybe.
1,000.
Per 1,000 per meal.
1,000 calories, wow. 4,000 to 6,000 calories per meal. That's up to 12,000 calories per day. To put that into context, in the UK, the average bloke, like me, is recommended to eat 2,500 calories per day. They're eating 5 times that.
Like there's no breakfast. This guys, we practice on an empty stomach. We're not allowed to drink anything too.
Well, surely you need to put the weight on.
Yeah, but when you go to hard practice, there's hours of practices, so you can tell who ate. Our first meal is after practice. It's like a brunch, lunch.
And what sort of food?
It's like a stew. It contains a lot of protein and a lot of vegetables at the same time.
Is there any chance, would you allow me to go and make something for you guys to
I
eat?
think the boss, you gotta ask the boss.
Is it okay if I go and bake something for you guys to eat?
Thank you. Are you a cook too?
Yeah, that's what I do.
As the training continues, Paul tucks himself into the tiny kitchen and does what he does best. He makes bread.
Making a flatbread, a very quick flatbread.
Professional sumo dates back almost 400 years, and many of the original fighters were out-of-work samurai. As the years passed, it became clear that size mattered when trying to win a bout, so sumo wrestlers got bigger and bigger.
The reason why this dough has moved so quick is because the heat in here from the sumo guys in there, it's very humid. And you expect it to be a bit sweaty smelling. It isn't at all. Cleanliness in the whole body is a really important part of sumo as well. Oh, yeah.
With training finally over, Paul's quickly joined in the kitchen by some very hungry and very scantily clad young men.
I found it a little bit disconcerting when one of the sumo guys came in. And I sort of went,
One of the first things that new recruits to a sumo stable are taught is to cook the main dish that has been eaten by generations of sumo wrestlers to build bulk.
look at that.
A massive pot of protein-rich stew called chankonabe.
And what's in that?
今日は豚肉と今人参大根をまず入れて先に茹でてます。あと他にはこれから砂糖を入れた後これが味が完成したらえのきにしめじ、油揚げ、ネギをまず入れてそれがまた煮立ったらキャベツと最後ほうれん草を入れて完成。
Incredible. It does smell amazing. A lot of these sumo guys, when they leave, will actually open up a restaurant and serve just that. I mean, it's such a specialist food. Do you enjoy cooking?
そうです、好きです。
Yeah?
食べる方が好きです。
Don't we all?
The chankonabe is eaten in vast quantities by the sumo trainees, with up to 6 bowls of rice each, and a fair few side dishes, which today include Paul's flatbreads.
Try it. See what you think.
None. It's good.
Loads of flavour. Lots of flavour.
But this is like the main
There we go.
dish, chanko nabe.
It tasted beautiful, intense, lots of flavour, and the volume those guys eat is just incredible. The other guys, when do they get to eat?
After we all finish, we are served. Until we're done, none of them are allowed to eat.
Right.
So they serve, they clean up, and the guests is leaving, then they all come and eat. So you see that too. They're working on an empty stomach. Remember that.
Yeah.
But their heads, they already understand that system is what's going to take them a long way, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
Carry on so I can eat all the bread. Carry on.
You've got to leave him something.
Carry on. Keep on going. Keep him busy. I'm working.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for allowing me into your place today,
Hope
because
you enjoyed your
I've
trip.
loved it. Yeah, thank you. It's a big honour to be invited in and to sit there and watch these guys train. Being allowed to bake for the sumo guys was a real pleasure as well. I think just to be there, I'm going to buzz off that for the rest of my life.
Paul Hollywood has spent the last 3 weeks touring Japan, learning about this unique country through its food. Discovering why food is so important to the Japanese identity,
All of this for rice.
and why Japan is now a top destination for food lovers.
This is spectacular.
Appropriately, Paul's finishing his trip in a city which many leading food critics believe to be the food capital of the world, Osaka. Osaka is a shopper's heaven with over 40,000 retail outlets. And it has a reputation as Japan's party city. But Paul is of course here for the food, so he signed up for a lovely lady called Ayako to take him on the Kuidore food tour.
In Osaka, Kuidore literally means eat until you ruin yourself financially and physically.
Financially and physically.
Also joining Paul for the evening is Saku Yanagawa, a comedian who's a big fan of the city.
Saku's from this area as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he is.
You're familiar with this philosophy of just eat till you drop.
Osaka boasts almost 100 Michelin-starred restaurants, but what draws people here from all over is its celebrated street food. And it's street food on a whole different level to what Paul's used to back home.
We have a lot of those trendy pop-up street food places in the UK, selling specialty sausages or falafel wraps. But traditional British street food is a burger van or a caravan doing doner kebabs after you've left the pub. I like a hot dog.
Would you like some
Oh, yeah.
beer?
When you're out doing a food tour, you're on the pop as well, are you?
Yes. This is the beauty of being a tour guide.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I know.
First up, we tried gyoza.
Gyoza are thin, half-steamed, half-fried pancakes stuffed with minced pork and veg.
Now, I've had gyoza before, I was familiar with them, and I love them. But these, wow. I mean, that is absolutely delicious. Now, I know that generally around Japan, eating and drinking on the streets is frowned upon. But in Osaka, it's actually encouraged. Right, where are we going to next?
Let's go to takoyaki, octopus dumplings.
Is it cooked?
It's cooked. It's not raw.
I've had a lot of raw fish. Takoyaki is apparently Osaka's famous food. What it is basically fish balls which are filled with octopus tentacles. I love watching the way they form these balls just with the wooden skewer. They were so fast and so deft at it.
And one of the most popular Japanese people snack.
People say it's Osaka people's soul food.
Thank you. It can be very hot, so please be careful.
Really?
Be careful. Oh, wow. yeah. Damn it.
You're very
Yeah.
brave.
Ah.
This is typical Osaka
It's too
style.
hot, right?
Enjoy the heat.
It's literally lava.
You saw they cooked, right?
Yeah.
Why did,
I don't know
did
why,
you
I
do
just
it?
thought it'd be cool by that.
I'm real Osakan, so when I eat it, I'll never be like anymore. I'm used to it. Eat properly.
Yeah. Don't give me that. They taste amazing. I mean, the batter's very light on the outside.
Yeah.
And the octopus inside is delicious.
Go ahead.
I think I've lost the roof of my mouth. It's now hanging in tatters.
I think beer will
I should
heal
have
you.
got a beer.
Yeah, beer will heal you.
Next stop, Showa Taishu Hormon for another Osakan delicacy.
So what are we going to eat here then? What's the next dish?
We are going to have the horumon.
The what?
Horumon. Offals. Intestines of the cow.
In the local dialect, horumon means what's to be thrown away, Made from beef or pork offal, it was invented in 1940s Osaka at a time of widespread food shortages.
The first one here, this is a small intestines. And the other one is a cartridge of the throat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, typical cartridge.
So I'm guessing you know what Wagyu beef is, right? It's famous globally as being the best beef in the world. And Osaka is sort of slap bang in the middle of Wagyu country. But this is part of the cow I didn't think I was ever going to eat.
First up for Paul, intestines.
Thinking.
No, I know he likes it.
The flavour is good. The texture's a bit rubbery.
That's what we enjoy. Chewing, chewing, and chewing.
Can't wait to try the throat. Go try it first. You've not had this before, have you?
Chewy because of the cartridge.
It's really unique, actually.
Oh, that's not a good word. You can't eat that. It's like chewing on a bit of rubber. Now, can we please try and find some beef?
Beef, yes, different.
Yeah.
Finally, we were heading for Wagyu. Hallelujah. Kobe beef.
Kobe beef.
Outside of Japan, the most famous type of Wagyu is Kobe beef. And in Osaka, if you've got deep pockets, you can buy the very best Kobe beef from a street stall.
That's
special.
marvelous. I mean, it's that marbly. It looks like salmon. And how much is that piece?
10,000 yen.
What, 70 quid? Ooh, 70 quid on street food.
You know how good it is, right?
It's very, very expensive. I know that, but wow. I mean, when you're in Japan, you've got to have it. All Wagyu meats are graded by experts. A to C is the yield, and 1 to 5 is the quality. And there, in a street stall in the middle of Osaka, is the best Wagyu in the world, A5. I'm dribbling. This is going to be amazing. Arigato gozaimasu. Wow, look at that.
Don't drop it.
Back away, back away. Okay,
There
tuck
you go.
in, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That is stunning.
Exactly. More than anything.
One of my favourite cameramen here. Honestly, when he eats this, I know he's never had anything like this before.
No, yeah.
This is for you now.
Yeah.
There you go, mate. Try that. Honestly. Now tell me that's not the best meat you've ever had.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, yeah. By a long
Isn't
way.
it?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You don't chew it, do you? It falls to pieces. Do you know what? It's one of the best meals I've had in Japan.
Yeah.
Best one.
That, on the
Really?
street in Osaka, with a beer,
You'll,
with my friends.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you.
Bye
Come
for
back.
Osaka.
Come back. Thank you. To Osaka.
Yeah.
And Kobe beef.
Well, that certainly ended Paul's Japanese food adventure on a happy note, didn't it?
Right, I'm going to get another one.
All things considered, it's been a fantastic 3 weeks in a whole host of ways. And it appears that Mr. Hollywood has caught a serious bout of Japanophilia.
I love Japan. Whatever they do, they strive to be the best. And do you know what? They actually achieve it. Even down to growing strawberries or making a simple ramen. The guy's got a Michelin star. The tempura I had in Tokyo, it was the best fish I've ever had in my life. I'm a happy man. Thank you for bringing me here. And their bread. I'm going back to the UK to try and replicate it. I had a cheese and ham sandwich in Kyoto away from the crew. Let me tell you this, it was the best cheese and ham sandwich I've ever had in my life in Japan. Wherever we went, there was this constant striving to become the best. Not the richest, not the most famous, not to be celebrities, but to be the best in their field. I'm so impressed with Japanese food. I will definitely come back.